My name's Zach, and I play drums and Drug the Kids.
Hey, I'm Alan. I play guitar and Drug the Kids.
Hey, my name's Ivan. I play guitar.
I'm Seth. I sing and I play guitar.
Hey, I'm Joel, and I play bass and Drug the Kids.
Give us a little history. How the band come together?
Ivan and I had bands in Florida together. We've been writing for years, and one day we were just like, forget it, man. Let's go to LA. Packed all our stuff and came out here. And then Joel and I grew up in Mexico City together, and he just happened to be out here in the OC. So I asked him to be the bass player. We met Zach at a barbecue, and then we had this guy come in from El Paso. This is Ivan's brother.
My brother.
To be our keyboard/guitarist, you know? And then history was made from there.
That's amazing. So what were some of the common threads? You know, what kind of attitude or influences kind of bonded you guys together?
We feed off of liking a lot of the same music, and we've been real fans of rock music. We have several heroes that we always looked up to. It was something that we always wanted to do. We always wanted to be those guys that actually committed to doing it and sticking through it. We knew LA was the place that we wanted to start at as well. So we've been out here doing it.
Why don't we go down the line? Tell us about like growing up, who your biggest musical influences or inspirations were.
I remember when I was in 5th grade, my biggest musical influence was All American Rejects, because the song Move Along is frequently new, and I saw the way people reacted to that song, and it just made me want to play music because it's a very positive vibe, really inspiring.
That's cool.
I listened to Kiss when I was a little kid, man, and then growing up, like I fell into like the All American Rejects thing too, and I was like all about them for years. And then I don't think it was until I came out here and I was around these guys that I started listening to more things like Jack White, like Mute Math, and it started really expanding like the whole musical spectrum for me. So being out here has really done a lot for me as far as that goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm influenced by a lot of old music. I'm a big Hendrix and Zeppelin fan. I'm also really, really big into Rage Against the Machine. It's been one of my biggest influences, along with a lot of hip-hop stuff. I'm really into Dr. Dre, and I feel like that's influenced our style quite a bit as well.
That's great.
I grew up with all types of music. My mom was a worship leader, so I really loved anything melodic, like whether it was from the Beatles. I feel though like most of my influences were like 90s bands like Bush and Nirvana and stuff like that. But I mean, the spectrum is just so wide. You know, Mars Volta, Led Zeppelin, like Ivan said, anything that's really got a groove to it and like really melodic. That's kind of where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
I really like a lot of lyrical music. I also really grew up on the 90s. Obviously, I love the Beatles, anything bass heavy, Red Hot Chili Peppers also. I originally grew up playing guitar, so I like a lot of acoustic stuff also. Huge Radiohead fan. Mars Volta, as he mentioned, Circa Survive, Mute Math are all awesome bands that I really enjoy. But yeah, anything like Seth was saying, anything melodic, anything that you can tell people really put some work into it, put their heart and soul into it is what connects with me.
That's great. So when you guys got together, you started jamming, putting the elements together, and started clicking. What was that? What was that common element? What really drew you guys together to make it stick?
Ivan and I had, Ivan he's kind of like a virtuoso who plays anything. His first instrument's drums. And when he came out here, I was always pretty anal about songwriting. Like, I wouldn't even let him put guitars on stuff. But then he lost a bunch of weight and he was like, hey, I want to be the guitar player now. I don't want to be behind the drum set. And I was like, all right, man, whatever, let's do it. But then we feel like we introduced like a certain groove with everybody. But then like we had an old drummer, and before we had Zach in the band, he just couldn't feel with what we were playing. And I remember the first time we played with Zach, for instance, like everything felt so alive, you know what I mean? Like we just all clicked instantly, and it was the same when we all met. Everything we've done has just always clicked together. I don't know why. I don't know if there's any common thread necessarily, but it just always works,
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it also has to do, I think, with our relationship personally with each other as a band, We all get along really well. We all consider each other brothers. We all take care of each other. And I mean, when it comes down to dealing with 5 different characters, 5 different egos, 5 different people, it always helps to have each other's back, and to actually be real good friends with each other, and actually mean it, And as they were saying earlier, I mean, one of our common threads is that we've all decided that this is what we want to do with our lives, you know, and we've all done regular jobs. We all still have regular jobs, but this is what we want to be doing for the rest of our lives.
Well, that's great. And how did the name come about? Tell us about the origin of the name.
Well, I think the origin of the name is mostly to get attention, but what it means is you can drug kids with anything nowadays. We want it to be in a positive way, you know, with love, music, affection, anything that is positive. Obviously, it gets attention, and that's why we love the name.
Yeah, man, people still don't know how to take it when you're drug kids. Like, some people just are so taken back by it, and it surprises me because I knew one guy who was an addict, and he was so taken back by it. And I'm like, dude, you can drug kids with politics and religion, man. I was like, TV's one of the hardest drugs in America to kick, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And even then, he was just like, walking away. So I like the fact that it strikes something in someone, you know what I mean? It invokes a certain emotion for people, whether that's something that they don't like or whether they love it, you know what I mean? But that's the idea, is to get that like automatically grabbing attention. So.
Sure. Well, I know you guys had a killer show last night at the legendary Whiskey A Go Go. Met some of your heroes, Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers, coming off the ultimate drum off, you know? And of course, you got Glenn Hughes and Deep Purple and Jason Bonham with the Zeppelin in his blood, you know? That didn't hurt. What was that experience like?
Oh man, it was so great to share the stage with those dudes. They're all great guys. They're obviously superstar musicians, you know, they've been doing this from back in the day. And it was a real honor, to tell you the truth. The show was sold out, and then just to have Chad Smith chilling in our dressing room when we got back upstairs was so
what a surprise!
Amazing.
You had to do a little double take.
Yeah, such a cool dude, man.
You didn't know if it was Will Ferrell or what.
We weren't sure at first.
We were talking about it on the way here, and we were like, oh man, we wish we had a camera for Joel's reaction, because like we got up there and we saw him and we were freaking out, and then like Joel walks up there and he's looking around and he sees these guys like, what the fuck? It's hilarious. It's the greatest thing.
That's awesome. Well, I know you guys got, you know, a good agent in hand and looking to get out there on the road with, you know, more and more of those bands, you know, in your vein. Tell us about some of the, you know, your wish list. Who were some of those bands you guys would like to be touring with?
Man, it'd be cool to play with Haim right now. We'd obviously love to tour with Lord. All American Rejects.
Foster the People.
Foster the People.
Mute Math.
Mute Math would be awesome.
Oh my god, yeah. Such a sick
Stank would be pretty cool.
Stank would be cool.
Yeah.
Red Hot Chili Peppers, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're shooting up there.
That's great. Well, we're going to go down the line and give us a little advice to that young band. There's somebody in a garage right down the block here, just forming a band. Hold that thought. Okay, so let's go down the line. You know, from what you've learned in the business or what you see out there, what advice do you give to that young player, that young band? You know, people want to be doing this, you know, what do you tell them?
Honestly, I'd say just follow your dreams and never give up. Obviously, a lot of practice and dedication is involved, and just keep up with it, you know. Just stick with it as much as you can, never give up.
Yeah.
You know what, man, I come from a place where like everybody judges and nobody really puts anything out there. So like me myself, like I tried to find a band, I tried to play with different people, and like it was either like I just didn't fit or nobody really believed in me. So like at the end I kept doing it, and I kept doing it because these guys convinced me to, you know what I mean? And like it wasn't really going anywhere, nobody was hearing the music. I just kept it for myself, and really like as long as you get a personal satisfaction out of what you're doing and you keep doing it, man, like you don't have to be like the biggest band in the world to enjoy what you're doing, you know what I mean? But if you're serious about doing it, don't be afraid, you know what I mean? Like I dropped everything I was doing to fucking come over here, and there's no better way to tell people that you're serious than to fucking drop your life, leave it behind, and go after what you want, you know? So fuck, man, don't let anybody get in your way, no matter what it is. Like if they don't believe in you, just prove them wrong, do it for yourself, you know?
Yeah. Sure.
I just definitely got to say, just work hard, believe in yourself, be persistent, and if it is what you want, go after it, 'cause nobody else is going to go after it for you. And just believe in yourself, just have faith, know that that's what it is, you know, put yourself 150% in, and when it fucking fails, just do it again and do it again until you can fucking make it. You know, that's how everybody does it, that's how we're doing it, and you can make it happen, just don't ever give up.
Yeah.
Don't rely on anyone else. Do not conform. Always stay true to what you are as an artist. I feel as though the artists who've made the biggest impact in the world today are artists who have done what they wanted to do. You know, when I write music, for instance, I don't write it necessarily for other people to hear it. I write it for what I want to hear. You know what I mean? And if it just so happens that someone else wants to listen to it, then that means you have something good. And I think that, you know, what these guys said is all right. Like, you can't rely on anyone else but yourself. The more and more that we put our dream in someone else's hands, the longer it takes us. So, and the more we take it, the more control we have, and the faster it goes. So,
Yeah.
I think kind of how they all said, you know, just being perseverant and following your dreams, not letting people's opinions and judgments get you down. I mean, there's, you know, people are like assholes. They all have one. They all stink, you know. So, you know, we've run into a lot of different situations, especially none of us are originally from the LA area, and moving out here, the music business is really cutthroat, you know.
you're right.
But yeah, I mean, follow your dreams, be perseverant, don't give up, and regardless of what anybody says, I mean, the people that make it are the ones that stick around, you know, the ones that go home are still at home. So we don't want to go home, we're here to stay, and we're going to keep on doing it until it goes, you know.
That's great. And in closing, tell us about the album you guys are working towards. You know, what we can expect, and you know, everything about that.
You know, we're still growing as a band, and our sound is still developing. And each song that we write, I feel like gets better, and it adds a totally new dynamic to it. And one thing that people have always told us about our music is we send them something, and it never sounds the same. So, you know, our album's we're hoping to call the album "Gossip's the Devil's Radio," and I think it's gonna be really cool, man. We have a lot of really good, solid material. Nothing that like I would want to skip over myself personally, not just because it's our music. You know what I mean? I honestly believe that, and I really feel that way. So I think it's gonna be really groovy. It's gonna be really dancey, and it's gonna be really melodic, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we're Drug the Kids, and we don't give a shit what anybody else thinks, and neither should you. Drink your Ovaltine and stick with the music.
Indie power.
Indie power.
I didn't do it right.